Are you busy or are you effective? Are you busy, moving, but are you being effective? Are you making an impact? Are you making a being productive? This is what we're going to get coach about today. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson, and you're listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, a place where you discover your success, your greatness, your purpose, your destiny, and become all what you were designed to be. Sit back, relax, and let us go on a journey together of transformation. Thank you so much for sharing the podcast, listening to the podcast. If you want more motivation and inspiration, you can visit. I'm on social media, or you can visit my website, AntonioLandisThompson.com, to get weekly motivation and also some morning motivation and meditation nuggets. What are you grateful for today? Woo! I am grateful, woo, to be in another month, and I'm grateful for another opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of the new listeners out there. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. Without your prayers and support, Winner for Life Coaching Podcast would just be an idea. But let's get into it today. Can I have permission to coach you? Can I have permission to get in your circle? Pull up a chair, put your earbuds in. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a workout. Let's go on. You're on the road traveling. That's what we did about a week ago. We was on the road traveling like about 16 hours one way, 16 hours coming back one way. It was a great experience. I think it was the first time we had a long road trip. So if you want a road trip, hey, plug into Winners for Life Coaching Podcast. Thank you for giving me permission to coach you. Now, our focus today is simply this. We want to talk about, are we really being effective or are we really being busy? That's our focus today. Now, in this coaching session, I want you to ask yourself, or when this podcast episode has ended, I want you to ask yourself, what would you have liked to get out of this? Like, what's your end game, right? I had a coaching professor, I should say, or advisor. He used to talk about the end game. So in this session, what is your end game? What would you like to be your outcome? This thought became about me and one of my friends. We were just talking this week, and we was talking about how, especially in this Western culture, because all my life I've lived in the Western culture. I know we have a lot of listeners in Europe and different parts of the world. And it's this thing now, it's like you always have to be doing something. You always have to be moving. You always have to be busy. And some people think that if you are not moving or doing nothing, you're not making no progress. Oh, we're being conditioned to believe that in order to make progress, or in order to make an impact, or in order to be effective, you have to constantly keep moving. It's busy. Before I even got up this morning, I already heard the podcast download into my mind, into my spirit. It's like we're constantly being bombarded with screens, computer screens, television screens. I mean, you drive in your car now, they have the GPS inside the car. Those screens. I mean, social media screens. You have watch screens. There's so many screens. And it's like we feel like we have to be doing something. And especially this generation now, when they're not doing nothing, they say things like, I'm bored. There's nothing else to do. And I was in that before. I remember there was a period in my time where I felt like I had to always be doing something. And this was before I got married. I felt like every day I have to be doing something. I have to be constantly be going out. I have to be to this function. I have to be to this social event. And there was one time when there was a function going on. I didn't even know I was going to go this route. There was a function going on, and I did not have the money to pay for the function. And the function was, say, it was going to be like probably from 7 to 10. It was 3 hours. And I was doing my best to try to get to that function, but I didn't have the money to buy the ticket. But you know what I realized? After those 3 hours, I still survived. And when they had another function, I was able to have money to go to that function. And I realized in that moment also that, guess what? I didn't miss nothing. And there was a time before I got married, I was constantly so busy, that one day I sat down, listen to this, I sat down in our own home in the Bahamas, and I look at these people in the house, and I was trying to figure out, who are they? It was my family. It's my sisters. It was my brother or my dad. You know, I don't know if my dad was still living with us because my mom and my dad, they, after 25 years, they got divorced. But I looked at my family and I was trying to figure out, who are these people? Because I was so busy, I started to realize I was losing kind of a little touch connection with my family because I felt like I got to be somewhere. I got to be to this game. I got to be to this function. Hold on for a second. Ooh. And me and my son, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. He brought it up. You don't have to constantly be busy, busy, busy. You were not put in this world to be a busybody. You were put in this world to just flow in your purpose. You were put in this world to just flow in your uniqueness. You were put in this world to flow in your creativity. You were put in this world to simply blossom like a beautiful rose. Are you being effective, or are you just being busy? And we become so busy as a culture, we become so busy as a society, that now what happens is now we are even neglecting ourselves. Like this week, I haven't run this week, but I ran, 2 times last week. So I said, by the more I got to get out there and get it in, get that in. Because we become so busy. We got to do this for everybody. We got to do this for everybody. We got to do this. And what happens is we become so busy and become busybodies. We become like a robot, or we become like a zombie. All we know, we get up, check our phones, go to work, go to our jobs, come home, go to our functions. And then we start neglecting our bodies. Because we're so busy. And then when people look at you, where you just chilling and relaxing and taking your time, they look at you like you're crazy. Now, let me clarify this for a second. I'm not saying that you should not be motivated. I'm not saying that you should not be assertive. I'm not saying that you should not be proactive. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that there has to be a balance. There has to be a balance. Oh my gosh, it is getting so warm. It has to be a balance in terms of how you live your life out. There has to be a balance. You don't want to be too busy that you neglect yourself, but also you don't want to be too laid back that there's no traction. Oh, let me check in. How I like to ask people, like, I learn in coaching, in this moment, what is coming up right now? Like, what are you feeling? What are you feeling right now in this moment? What are you feeling right now in this moment? How you doing? Just hang in there. We're going to make it through. And we become so busy. When last have you paused and smell a rose? Like I just release a morning motivation. Like the last podcast that came out was the morning motivation meditation. And the topic was like, what the question that I put out there was, what's most important in that moment? And I shared a story that happened where my daughter was, she was having she just was having a moment. And I wanted to record our episode or podcast. But in that moment, my wife told me, she said, give her a hug. And I give her a hug. And I realized that in that moment, the most important thing was to hold space for my daughter and be there for her and give her a hug. But we become so busy that we cannot be in the moment, we cannot be present, and we cannot enjoy the moment, and we cannot embrace the moment. One of the things that I've learned in coaching, that when I was doing my coaching training and becoming a certified coach through the International Coaching Federation, is that we were taught as coaches to be present. To be present. To be present. And when you are present, you are in that moment. And when you are in that moment, as a coach or even as an individual, you can hear what the person is saying. Because imagine me showing up to coach somebody, but my mind is over there. My mind is over there. And they're asking me questions, right? Or I'm asking them questions, or we're having a dialogue going on. And we've all experienced this. You're talking to somebody, you're talking about apples, but they're replying with oranges. Wait a minute. And in that moment, you don't say nothing. You could say, they didn't understand what I said. You can understand in that moment, they are not really present and listening to what you say. Why? Because based on the communication, what you're saying to them, and my wife will say it sometimes to me, and I've done it sometimes. My wife's like, "You're not listening to me." I said, "What you mean? I'm not listening to you, babes?" She said, "No. Based on your response, you're not listening to me. Meaning, based on my response, I am not present." Ooh. We become so busy that we can't even have a good night's sleep. We become so busy that we being conditioned that if you just sit down and be quiet, you're doing something wrong. And people have this mentality. Some people have this mentality that you always have to be moving. No. There's a time for everything under the sun. Under the sun. A time to born. There's a time to transition and die. There's a time for war. There's a time for peace. There's a time of celebration. There's a time of mourning. There's a time of movement. And there's a time of just being still. I feel like we're getting in a meditation right now. When last have you taken a chill pill where you just relax? I even notice sometimes, and I'm practicing this, sometimes when I go into my car, I wouldn't turn on the radio. I wouldn't turn on the radio. And I would drive and just listen to the cars pass, or sometimes I like to open up my window and let that fresh breeze come in. Hear the birds, look at the clouds, look at the sun, get in that moment, being grateful for what I have, appreciating for what I have in that moment. That is what I started to practice and realized the importance of just being relaxed and being in that moment where everything else doesn't matter in that moment. And I'm talking about my daughter, and in this moment I'm recording this podcast and my daughter walked in. Right? We become so busy. I encourage you today, take some time that have some downtime, take some time to take out a journal if you like the journal. Take out some time to reflect. You might be at your job. Take some time on your lunch to put the phone away and start to probably just pray, probably just meditate, or just reflect. But you don't have to always constantly be doing something. Mm. You don't have to constantly always be moving and moving and moving and moving and moving and moving and moving. You don't always have to be constantly be moving. Just how there's a season and a time for movement, there's a season and time, or there's times that you have to keep still. Why? You have to rest. That is why at the end of the day, you eat your dinner, probably watch some television, do some activities with your family, then you go to bed. Why? Because your body is resting. And your body is resting. And as your body is resting, what? You're regaining your strength. And when you get up in the morning, you are refreshed, and then you go back to your job or you go back to your job. Imagine, imagine if you didn't sleep the entire night, but you had to go to work. You had to go to your business. You would not be effective. You will not make an impact. And that's the same thing with our lives. Stop being so busy that you neglect yourself. Stop being so busy or feel like you always have to be somewhere. Listen up. It's all right if you don't go to the concert. It's all right if you don't go to that function. It's all right if you don't go out this time. Don't neglect yourself. Don't neglect your body. Don't neglect your family. And like I said in that previous podcast, in this moment right now, I wanna throw that out to you right now. In this moment right now, you're being so busy, right? But in this moment right now, what is most important to you? Mm. In this moment, what is most important to you? Don't care what they say. Oh, you don't want to hang with us no more. You don't want to be with us no more. Why? You need that downtime to refresh, to assess, and gain fresh new strength and ideas. This is Coach. This is Coach Antonio Landis Thompson, and you're listening to Winners for Life Coaching Podcast, a place where you discover your success, your greatness, your purpose, your destiny, and become all what you were designed to be. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Thank you for sharing to the podcast. Sharing the podcast. If you want more inspiration and motivation, you could visit AntonioLandisThompson.com. Remember, your purpose is never lost. Your purpose is inside of you. There's no secret to your success. There's a wealth of greatness inside of you. You are the captain of your ship and the master of your destiny. The best. The best. And like my daughter say, the bestie. The bestie and the best and the greatest day in the world, in the universe, to be alive is the day. And what we talk about today, are we being busy or are we being effective? Are we being busy or are we making an impact? Are we being busy or are we being productive? Were your expectations met? Were your expectations met? Hmm? What did you get out of this episode today? What did you get out of this coaching session? In other words, what is your takeaway? What are you taking away today? But also, I want to challenge you as a coach. What are some action steps that you are going to put in place today to counter or put in place that you would not get caught up being so busy? What are some measures? What are some structures? What are some systems? What are some things that you could implement today to prevent you from being busy? Or if you're being too busy, you say, okay, I need to dial back a little bit. Or if I'm being too laid back, I need to step it up. What are some measures? I want you to write that down. I want you to reflect today. What are some things that you can do today? Some measures and some systems you could put in your place to protect yourself. Why? Because you become so busy. Why? You have to protect your peace. You have to protect your health. You have to protect your purpose and the vision and the assignment that was given to you to fulfill. You have to protect your energy. You have to protect yourself. But if you're constantly busy, 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 you are going to be so tired that you cannot enjoy life. I love you. Your day is going to be amazing. Remember, you were not put in this earth to be a busybody. You were put in this earth to make an impact. You were put in this earth to do something great. You were put in this earth to fulfill that purpose. And the way you fulfill that purpose and make an impact and be productive every day is not being busy, it's just flowing, flowing, flowing in the gifts that were placed inside of you. I love you. I speak blessings over your life. Your day is going to be amazing. The best and the greatest day to be alive is the day. Love you. Don't be busy, but be effective. Don't be busy, but make an impact today. Blessings.